Hey guys, in this video I want to talk to you about how you can care for your website after it's launched. So when we start to build a website, it's normal to get lured into putting so much emphasis and focus on just getting the website launched that we forget to think about how to properly care for and budget for things we're going to need after the website launches. So in this video I'm going to introduce you to the kinds of things you'll need to be thinking about, and this is necessary to ensure that your website continues to provide you with a strong return on investment for years to come. So first thing, hosting, which pertains to uptime and security. So if you don't understand hosting, check out one of our other videos on the subject. But basically, a web server is a computer that's just sitting in a data center running 24/7, making your website available to the whole world. Lots of things can bring a website down. Internet connectivity issues, server crashes, overload from too much traffic, or other bad neighbors that are maybe using the same server as yours and having those kinds of issues. So what to do about this? Get a good responsive host and install some uptime monitoring so that you're alerted if the website ever goes down. As far as security, there are hackers out there who want to hack your website, and it's not personal. They don't even really know who you are. They're just looking for vulnerable servers that they can compromise to then use for the various nefarious activities that they're up to. So in order to protect against that, your code must be sound in the first place. You should use strong passwords, smart firewalls, intrusion detection systems. Again, a good host is going to have these kinds of things, but if your site gets hacked, it's going to go down. So really important to get that right. And then last in the hosting and uptime category is backups. Make sure that your web server is just like your normal PC, automatically backing everything up. It should back it up automatically on a regular basis, ideally at least once a day, and that backup should be kept for 30 days in an offsite location so that if your website is ever hacked or if anything goes wrong, you can quickly bring it back up. Again, a good web firm is going to take care of this stuff for you, but make sure you're asking the right questions. Point number 2, preventative maintenance. If you're running WordPress, you're going to want to make sure that your plugins are always kept up to date. If plugins get out of date, it can introduce some of those security issues I was talking about before. You're going to also want to make sure that the software on the server itself is up to date. That's typically the host's responsibility, but there needs to be a regular process there. And you're going to want to monitor not only the uptime of the server, but also the overall server health. You don't want to wait until the website goes down to realize you have a problem. You should be monitoring responsive times and CPU usage and things like that well in advance of an outage. Communicate with your web host about traffic spikes that you're expecting. They can implement additional load balancing, multiple servers, caching, things like that to help prevent against big influxes in traffic. Point number 3, reactive maintenance. So after your website is live, you're going to want to change it every once in a while. Typically those are content changes. A new person comes to work for you and you want to put their picture on the website, or you start offering a new service, or you open up a new location. So make sure you're kind of budgeting and talking with your web firm about those kinds of things. You may also find that you need to respond to new requirements. So several years ago, people started using mobile phones, and so we had to do a lot of work to retrofit existing websites at the time to better work on mobile devices. There's a lot of talk about GDPR and privacy concerns that are being required of website owners now, ADA for those with disabilities. So just kind of keep your ear to the ground in terms of new things that are being required on websites, and those are some of the things you'll have to be thinking about after your website's live. Thing number 4 to keep in mind then is proactive development. So rather than letting our website just sit there and get stagnant for a number of years, what can we do to keep it evolving, keep it growing, so that it doesn't get to the point that we have to do this big expensive overhaul once again. So this is a newer concept. Not a lot of web firms are offering it yet, but the good ones are. What you're going to do is sit down and define some metrics. Is it traffic? Is it search rankings? Is it conversions? How do we tell numerically if the website's doing its job? And then basically come up with a plan for experimenting and trying to improve upon that. New design concepts, new pages. Typically, the way we run this process is we come in, depending on the business, every 4 to 6 months and sit down and say, okay, what's changed in your business? What's your competition up to? What new trends are we seeing in the web development world? Let's put together a plan for 10 or 15 hours worth of updates we could do to the site to bring it more up to speed. And if we do that consistently every 6 months, then we find the website lasts much longer, in some cases indefinitely, because we're giving it regular small investments rather than one big investment once every 5 years or something that creates a big project. So those are the main points. A good website should last you 3 to 5 years or even longer, so long as your business and your industry are stable. But with a strong proactive development plan, there's really no reason why it can't continue to evolve indefinitely. So make sure you plan for it and that you aren't caught 3 or 5 years down the road feeling embarrassed. Website that you're not proud of, website that's dramatically different from what your business is doing now, or worse, a website that goes down unexpectedly and at the worst possible time. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts, either by reaching out or by leaving them in the comments below. Until next time, so long.